Hi everyone, my name's Emma and I'm about to start my MD at Macquarie University in Sydney. I'm originally from Ontario and I've been here for a few weeks now, but I wanted to tell you about my first week in Sydney. If your first week in Sydney is anything like mine, this is how it's going to run down. So the first day that you land, we'll call that day 0. You're actually here, you've survived the 30 hours of travel from home. You're not quite sure what day it actually is, and you're just ready for a shower. But first, you have to step out into 30-degree heat or above and find your airport pickup. You have to then get to your Airbnb or your temporary accommodation. You have to meet those people and talk to them before you're actually allowed to shower and feel like a human again. And we're finally in the Airbnb. Once you actually feel like a human, or maybe beforehand, you're going to tell everybody that you arrived, and you're going to be bombarded with messages of love and well wishes, but you don't really feel anything. They're asking if you're excited, and you're just an emotionless zombie because you've been on a plane for 30-odd hours. And eventually you decide, okay, I need to venture out, I need to get food, again in a zombie walk. You're not quite sure where you're going to end up, probably somewhere kind of familiar to you. And then you basically just fight the urge to fall asleep to try to make it to a reasonable hour so you can maybe dodge some jet lag tomorrow. And then we hit day 1, so your first real day actually in Australia. You wake up pretty early and you can't tell, is that because jet lag or is that because I fell asleep at 8 p.m. the night before? Maybe it's a little bit of both. You actually are able to take stock in your surroundings and realize, wow, I'm really here. And can you hear those birds? They sound so cool. This does help. Now it's time to get yourself situated a little bit more in your temporary accommodation, maybe unpack a little bit, or just kind of get settled and start to think about maybe having a bit of a routine. It's only your first day, but there's still some things you have to do. You've got to go activate your bank account, research or sign up for some phone plans so you're not paying those roaming fees anymore. And you're kind of called to go explore your school because who wouldn't be excited to see where they're about to study? You get there and it's beautiful and you're so excited. On day 1, you're a little bit more emotional. You're able to talk to your family and your loved ones, and it's mostly just expressing excitement and how excited they are for you and how excited you are to be here, with maybe a little bit of guilt because you've left them behind. So day 2. Time to start seeing some of those apartments that you set up viewings for before you even left Canada. You don't want to stay in the Airbnb forever, and you'd really like to move into somewhere permanent before classes start, so you better get a move on. You wake up seeing messages from the night before, which was really your parents' morning in the day before you, and that's just a little bit weird. And you've got to get a little bit more settled in your Airbnb, maybe actually make some breakfast to start saving some money, and nothing feels quite familiar. It's a little bit overwhelming. Everybody at home is in a different time, and all you really wanted was some toast, but you can't find the toaster. You eventually get to see the room that you've booked, and it seems really great, but you really just wish your mom, your best friend, your boyfriend, or really anyone was there to look at them with you and kind of give you the thumbs up that this was a good choice. So you're not really sure what to do, you kill your phone battery sending them pictures, and now you've got to navigate your way back to your Airbnb. And then you get back, and it's a little bit weird because everybody you love is going to bed and you haven't had your dinner yet. And then there's the silence where everybody that you know to talk to is asleep. And you have a few hours left in your evening and your night to keep yourself occupied. Day 3, you're starting to get a hang of the transit system. It's actually really not that bad here in Sydney, at least for my experience. And you start to almost wonder, am I just in a bigger city in Canada? Just feels very similar to Toronto. But then a bird flies past that really you've only ever seen in a zoo or a pet store, and you're reminded, oh no, I'm on the other side of the world. On day 3, you might go explore the mall near campus, look for more phone plans, try to finally make a decision, or maybe see some more apartments. More getting down to business and realizing what's around and what you have to do. Day 4, and for me it was actually the first really sunny day here, you decide it's time to be a tourist and time to actually go see all the things and the new experiences that your city has to offer you. It'll be beautiful, and you'll have to pinch yourself to remind yourself that you're not dreaming and you're actually here, and you're also not leaving, that you are actually going to live in this city. You'll reapply sunscreen, but you will forget, you will miss a spot, and you will get burnt. Oh. Is the burn worth it? 100%. But that night you do really miss your mom because she would have remembered to bring aloe. Day 5, you wake up and you take stock in all the injuries that you have, some blisters from all the walking you did, and some red hot shoulders that really needed more sunscreen the day before. But it's another sunny day and the call to explore is still there. And today you'll meet another potential roommate, someone maybe that you've met online and they're going to be a classmate too. It's your first real Aussie friend. And then you see your first Aussie spider. I just saw my first spider. And have the creepy crawlies for the rest of the day. Day 6, now that you've seen one, it's all you can see. You keep seeing them everywhere. They're the harmless ones, but they're still a lot bigger than you're used to. And today you really realize how much you miss the sound of your loved ones, the sound of another Canadian even. So you schedule a Skype call, which is 3 p.m. your time, but it's when they're going to bed. And it's a little weird to say goodnight at 4 p.m. But it's really nice to see them and hear them and actually get reactions to your stories in real time. It feels a little bit more like home, but not quite the same. And then it's day 7 and you've spent a whole week here and you're feeling all right about that. You feel like you've kind of figured your way around. You've seen your school, you have an idea of a phone plan, and you have a bank account. It's feeling more and more permanent. But you haven't gone to a beach yet. So you gather your new friends and you head out to make sure that you see one of the Aussie beaches before all the stress and schoolwork sets in. And again, you have to pinch yourself to believe that it's real. It's too beautiful to be experiencing in February. You're expecting snow. But it's real and you're here and that's amazing. But today is really the first day that you start to feel a little homesick. And it's not homesick for a good Tim Hortons coffee. It's homesick for the sound of another Canadian who's in front of you talking and doesn't make you feel like your voice is from another planet. Now that was just my experience of my first 7 days here. I had a really positive one, but of course there were some hiccups along the way. And you know, if your experience is anything like mine, and I think it will have some similarities, your first week here is going to be okay. You'll be able to do it, you'll be able to get around, and you'll start to feel like you really belong here. You'll miss people, but there is ways to talk to them, although they're never quite the same. And in the end, you know, 1 week turns into 2, turns into 3, and you start to feel more and more at home. So that's my story, and I'll see you in the next video.